What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? As you know, I played the game Battlefield 5. Well, quotation marks, play, right? The game kind of plays me. So, I think it'd be fun if I did the definitive Battlefield 5 tier list for maps. This tier list invalidates all other tier lists that have been made prior to this. And I don't want to argue about it. So, right off the bat, this terrible creation called Aerodrome. It is, I want to put it in an offensively terrible and should be forgotten tier. But it has one playable mode. Breakthrough Attackers. That is the only playable mode. And for that, I'm going to put it in E tier. It is still absolutely terrible in all aspects. It barely has any cover. The center port of the map is bad. It's just a sandy mess. The tanks can camp on the outskirts of the map. Can't really rotate that well. It's just bad. Aerodrome, terrible. Next we move up to this is probably going to be a controversial opinion. Aros. A lot of people put this in A or B even. I have never liked Aros. I'm putting it in D tier. I'll explain why. Aros is too big for my taste. It takes too long to rotate around the map. The action is too spread out. Can't see anything in the fucking fields, man. You can't see anything. It just looks like a bunch of... It just looks like a bumblebee. Like, the fields just look like a fuzzy bumblebee, and you just can't fucking see anything. I don't like the map. I think it's overrated. I think people get a hard-on for it because it looks pretty, and it screenshots well. I don't think it plays well at all. Now, what I will say is, it has more playable options than Aerodrome, for sure. Aros TDM's pretty good. Aros Breakthrough's pretty good. Aros Conquest is where I feel it is very bad, and I don't particularly enjoy it. Moving on. Devastation. I'm going to put this in A tier. Reason being, I don't believe there are any S tier Battlefield 5 maps. Simple as that. I don't think a single map in Battlefield 5 is S tier. Now, the closest you can get to S tier in Battlefield 5 is probably Devastation. We'll get to the other maps later. I really like Devastation. It's a very well-designed map. It's a classic cross-point layout on the map. It rotates very well. There are a lot of areas in the map where you can, escape situations if you have map knowledge. And I think just overall a well-designed map. The one area on the map that I would change, the two areas, are probably the A point on Conquest, near the destroyed bridge, and the B point. I would just cut an entire floor off the B point entirely. I think there's too much verticality in the B point. It can be almost impossible to even try to move around if there are a lot of people in it. Other than that, I think it's a well-designed map. Now for another controversial opinion. I hear a lot of people shit-talking VIII. Talking about, I don't like VIII, it's fucking... Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You don't like VIII for reasons that are unrelated to the map design. You don't like VIII because of the planes. The planes have nothing to do with the map design at all. And for that reason, VIII is A tier. Not unironically, I'm not kidding. VIII is A tier, in my opinion. I enjoy VIII. Plays very well on Conquest if you actually know how to move around it. There are unique jump-up locations where you can get to move around the map. The planes, yeah, ruin it sometimes, but hey, talk to DICE about vehicle balance, or the lack thereof, right? Hey, not my fault. The one thing I will mention, though, is they ruined VIII TDM. VIII TDM used to take place around the city portion of the map, and for whatever reason, they decided that it would be a fantastic idea if they just removed the flank point from TDM, thus creating a stalemate of terrible experiences. Other than that, I think the map plays well. I think it plays well on Breakthrough. You might say, well, what about it's really hard to push on Breakthrough attackers? No, it's not. It's not hard to push at all. You're just bad. Smoke the left side hill and run all the way around, get behind them on the town, and shoot people in the back. It's not my problem. That being said, moving on to Hamada. Do I even need to say anything? No, I don't, do I? Okay. Almarge. Another A tier map. I think it's higher tier than Fiel. I will admit. Wait, tier list? Thank you. I think Almarge is a very well designed map. I think I believe it is the last map to ever be added to the game. I think it plays very well. I think its one downside, putting it below Devastation, is for whatever reason, the Conquest layout can have either 4 flags or 5 flags. And I don't know why. Whatever. Moving on to Narvik. They D tier map. It's not fun. It's too bright. It doesn't really rotate that well. The C point is an absolute mess. You ever try to run into the C point with all the buildings? You can't even do anything. There are snipers everywhere and bushes on the outskirts of maps. There's too many bushes. There's too much, like, you know those hills that snipers get hard-ons for in the middle of nowhere? There's too many of those. There's just too many of those random hills. I don't particularly like the way the B point is set up. I'm not a fan. Just not a fan. Aros is better than Narvik, though. Panzerstorm. One of the worst maps I've ever played in my life. Definitively. In any game mode. In any game ever. It is universally terrible. I have never had fun in this map. If you have had fun in this map, you need to contact a physician immediately. Rotterdam. This is a C tier map. Reason being, number 1, there's too much verticality. The verticality expands throughout the entire map. The map's rotations are extremely dependent on there being nobody up there with an SAR. I don't like that very much. It makes the map annoying to play. I think the cross from the D to B point on Conquest is far too open. I think the area in between E and D is far too staircase heavy. And I think the area on A is just too inaccessible. If there's people on the train tracks above A and they're camping the 3 staircases, good luck. Good luck getting up there. It is better than Aros, I will say. It has its moments. I just think the thing that really docked at points for me is the D and E area, man. The area in between D and E is an absolute mess, both in TDM, Breakthrough, Conquest, whatever you want to play it on. It's a mess. Moving on. Is this Wake Island or Pacific Storm? What is this? Wake Island. Yeah, Wake Island. It's, what can I say? It's consistently a terrible map in the Battlefield franchise, in my opinion. I have not played a single iteration of Wake Island that has impressed me at all. It's always just some flat island with a bunch of vehicles with no cover that you can't rotate on. That's what it is. I don't understand the hype behind it. They only put it in the game because the people that are Battlefield veterans always bitch and complain, where's Wake Island? No Wake Island? That's the only reason they put it in the game. It's not good. The map's not good. I'm sorry. It doesn't play well on Breakthrough. It doesn't play well on Conquest. I don't even want to talk about TDM. In fact, thinking about TDM, I might put it in offensively dog shit category. I'll leave it at E. Got close, though. It got close. All right, Al Sandan. Al Sandan is another E tier map. Reason being, it took, I believe, between 4 and 6 months off the top of my head for them to come out with this map. And then, when they did come up with the map, it's a wide open wasteland full of absolutely nothing. You can probably spend 10 minutes walking across the map and still not even get halfway across it. It's just too big. Al Sandan is the definition of making a map big for the sake of it being big and no other reason at all. There is so much wasted space in this map that I don't even understand how they thought it would be fun to play. It's terrible. You know, in fact, thinking about it, it's offensively terrible and should be forgotten. I just downgrade. You just saw me downgrade it. Terrible map. Iwo Jima. This one is hard for me because I quite enjoy Iwo Jima Breakthrough on attackers. Actually, I think it's pretty fun. That being said, I don't enjoy Conquest, but I do enjoy TDM. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I think it has enough going for it that I can put it in C tier. I will say, Conquest is... Oh boy, Conquest on Iwo Jima. I don't think I've gotten through a single round of Conquest on Iwo Jima without Alt F4ing. I honest to God, I don't think I have. It is so bad, dude. It's wide open. It's too big. Vehicles are everywhere. I just don't enjoy it. Lofoten Islands. This is an A tier map. It plays very well in the game modes that are available for it. Squad Conquest, TDM, Domination. It's not too big, not too small. It's the right size. I like the design of the points, and I think it plays well. There's really not much. Although the one thing that I will say, the spawns are very bad on Squad Conquest. They're not good. Merida. Merida is a fun map. The first point on Breakthrough is terrible. It's terrible. The first point on Breakthrough Merida is the devs going, hey, what if we made 64 people fight over one house? That sounds fun. That's why it's in B tier. That one thing right there is so bad that it's in B tier. It's good on Conquest. The visibility, another thing that docks it into B tier. Visibility in this map is probably one of the worst in the game, in my opinion. They went crazy with the bushes on this map. Whatever the lead bush designer at DICE Sweden went nuts. They went, hey, yeah, bush guy, yeah, go crazy on this map. The visibility is really bad. I think it's one of the maps that you can rotate really effectively on. There are some interesting jump up points. There are some let's say forbidden techniques that you can do to get around from the cliff side of like D all the way to F, which I will not tell you, but now you know. You can figure that out for yourself if you want. The C point's a mess. That's another thing that docks it into B tier. The C point is an absolute mess. The pushing from the bridge point C to E is nearly impossible. And when your team has the DC cap on Conquest and the enemies only have EF, it's just the game's pretty much over. So yeah. It's a good map. Not the favorite map. Good map though. Operation Underground. Another B tier map. I think it's below Merida in B tier status. Operation Underground is it's this game's take on Metro, right? I mean, it is what it is. I don't like TDM on Metro. On this map, I don't think it's good. Conquest is what it is as well. Breakthrough, there's too much verticality in the first point. It could be I've seen teams lose 500 tickets on the first point, and I have 100 kills in the first sector. So, I mean, I have PTSD from this map, and that's why it's in B tier. Pacific Storm. Offensively terrible. It's no matter how you cut it, it's consistently bad. Consistently bad. Breakthrough is consistently bad. TDM is consistently bad. Conquest is consistently bad. Is there Outpost on this map? There might be Outpost. If there is Outpost, it's consistently bad. It's too big. There's too much water. You can't cross safely. There's too many vehicles. There's too many bushes. You can't see anything. No. That brings us to Provence. Provence is a C tier map below Iwo Jima. The only reason this map is not in D tier is because of the ABC on Conquest. And because of that, the TDM on this map is actually quite good, and so is the Squad Conquest, and so is Domination. That's the only thing saving it from being in D. The TDM, Domination, Squad Conquest variants, and the city portion of the map. Other than that, the Conquest version of this map, it would be better if there weren't as many open fields. You know? I think having cover is a good thing. And this map doesn't have a lot of cover outside of the city area. Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands it's a D tier map for sure. Reason being is Conquest, while it's better than these maps in E and offensively terrible, it's not better than the ones above it. I don't think it really rotates very well. I don't think the visibility is particularly great. I don't think it plays that well on other game modes as either. TDM is okay, but you really gotta have... TDM is okay if the enemies decide that they want to make it okay. You know what I mean? If the enemies aren't hiding in the bushes, it can be fun. I've had fun. If they are hiding in the bushes, I'm leaving the game. It's just goodbye. Conquest is, again, I could take it or leave it. I don't play it personally, but yeah. Breakthrough is okay. I don't mind Breakthrough at all. Twisted Steel. It's an E tier map. I don't want to argue about it. It's an E tier map. I might put it in offensively terrible, actually, now that I think about it. I'll leave it in E tier. The only thing saving this map is Breakthrough. That's the only thing. Breakthrough in this map is the only saving grace. I think on any other game mode, it is awful. The TDM version of Twisted Steel is potentially the worst TDM map I have ever seen in any game. It is essentially a bog with players in it. You can't see anything. It's too big, and there are just... It's just terrible. Like, oh my god. I'm actually tilted even thinking about it. That moves us on to, I think this is the Firestorm map. I don't actually know what this map is called. Here, we're gonna make a tier here. How about this? We're gonna make a nobody cares tier. How about that? Bam. That map goes in the nobody cares tier. And finally, that brings us to Mercury. Mercury is a C tier map. Above Province, below Iwo Jima. Actually, Iwo Jima, I would say Iwo Jima and Mercury are tied. Mercury plays way better on Conquest. It's not good though. Mercury TDM is it's a clusterfuck. It's an absolute mess, but I've had some good games. It's fun. Breakthrough is good as well, but it's prone to spawn trapping. It's really prone to spawn trapping. That first sector is just wide open, and you really don't have much room to move around. It's just not really well designed. I don't like how much pressure the middle of the map grants the owning team of it. That makes sense. The C point high ground is the place to be. And if you don't have the C point high ground, you might as well just leave the game, because you have to run uphill against tanks, planes, infantry, and you really just, there's not much cover. But once you get past that into the city area and the upper hill there with the ruins, I think it's pretty good. And that's the definitive Battlefield 5 tier list. If you disagree with it, feel free to leave a dislike. You're wrong, though. Just know that. If you liked it, hit the like button. For more content like this, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. You guys, hey, link me your tier list. I want to see. And I swear to God, if any of you motherfuckers troll me, and I see you put Panzerstorm in any of these fucking maps in S tier, I might ban you in my Twitch chat. Just hey, fair warning. You guys we gotta work together as a Battlefield community here. Okay, we can't be having mental breakdowns like that. We just can't be having mental breakdowns. We gotta BF6. If it goes wrong, it's over, right? It's over. So we have to unite as one. Unite as one. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate it. Goodbye.